Hey, I'm Mark Travelin, and in this video I'm going to talk about what is marriage. But before I hop into that topic, please like, subscribe, share, hit the bell icon to get notified when new videos come out. Also, post comments and questions so we can all figure this out. So let's talk about what is marriage. Marriage is a great and important thing. It's a covenant. It's between a man and a woman and God. A lot of people today will say, well, what about same-sex marriages? Well, I don't consider those marriages because they can't produce anything. Now, I don't think that they're totally of no value. Let's be honest, there are plenty of people that participate in heterosexual things and they have absolutely no real business being in the reproduction business because they don't have the mentality or the motivation to look after children. And this is where the foster system comes in, and children wind up going to a foster home. So in those situations, if there's a same-sex couple that wants to look after a child and they can, provide for that child and give, a good home to the child, that's better than nothing, right? I know a lot of Christians might get really mad at me for saying that, and I don't support, homosexual agenda at all, but I think it is a good idea to make use of the things that are there to have utility, right? So I guess I'm a little off topic there with that. So marriage, though, it's a covenant, and I have another video where I talk about how to do the biblical marriage. I highly recommend that you check that out. But marriage, what marriage is it's a union, right? It's a union between two things. It's the union between a masculine and a feminine force. If you took a clear glass of water and you poured some wine into it, you'd have a really difficult time getting that wine back out of that clear water. You'd have to filter it and do some things. You might have to, boil that water and catch the steam and distill it back out into another glass. So when you mix the forces of the sex force between the man and the woman, that is a marriage. I mean, you could even argue that, well, let me go back to that point and say that when the two of them create a child together, that's a pure mixing, like a wonderful and amazing mixing of two materials, and husband and wife take part in that wonderful creation that God creates when he creates a human being. So marriage, it's very important in that. And so marriage is a joining, and there are stages of marriage. You could argue that just making eye contact with someone of the opposite sex is a little bit of a marriage, right? They go forward with conversation, a relationship is created, a friendship's created. The two start to work together and cooperate, and they start to dream together. They start to think about creating a life together. That's very important, right? So again, that's that mixing, that joining, that union. And if the two really, really like each other and they decide they want to stick together for life, the two of them then go and get married. They make a commitment before God and people in their life. And then, they come together as husband and wife sexually, physically, and they have a child together. And that child or children that's a permanent union between those two souls. And in that lifetime, there's no separating those two. There's no going back from that. There's no reversing that process. It's indelible at that point. So the wisdom of our forefathers and mothers was to only put together a man and a woman who are compatible, and to make sure that they don't mix sexually before they really figure out if they're a good fit for each other. If they are and they agree, then they have the ceremony, then they have the sex. And at that point, the relationship is protected by marriage, this invisible force field, umbrella, cover, if you will, that protects them and their offspring from demonic attack. That's really what a marriage is. I would say that there's more than that. You know, the husband and the wife, they have that unity, they have that benefit of the two genders working together, so they become one, they become a whole unit. And by working together in a good, loving way, they create something wonderful for themselves. They create something good for themselves and for the world around them. So that's what a really good and healthy marriage is. It's a dynamic, sort of the yin and the yang symbol, where the two perfectly complement each other. So it's really important. So that's what marriage is. You know, it's a vessel for which children can be brought into the world, and it's an opportunity for a man and a woman to perfect their love, to make themselves better and stronger and more whole through the interaction and the cooperation of their spouse. So marriage it's a lot of things, you know, but it's a vessel for protection for kids, and it provides a good start for, it's a microcosm of the world, really. You know, there's family politics, and that magnifies out into the greater community and to the country and to the region, whatever, right? So that's what marriage is. It's a good start for people. It's a good start for people, and it's a good way for young people to learn what it means to be in a loving and committed relationship. And yeah, so we need marriage. We need strong marriages here in America and beyond, and we need to, you know, keep God at the center of that. That's what the covenant's about, you know, loving your spouse with the help of God, and having God within that thing, within that connection. One last thing I'll add about marriage is, it's also, you know, the sexual part of marriage is a great way for people to heal one another. You know, that idea of sexual healing. I talk about that in my most recent book, The Sacred Bedroom, where I talk about how people can use sex to fully heal themselves, and to really become one, and feel, actually to use sex as a spiritual process of upliftment for the husband and the wife. So that's it for this video. I hope you got some good nuggets of wisdom from this. Please like, subscribe, or share. And as always, the light in me honors the light in you. May God love you, and have a great day. Bye-bye.